Greetings and salutations, Geo nerds! Well, today we're going to talk about this, digging holes and moving dirt. This is an awesome guy called Bruce Wilkinson, a sedimentary geologist. A bit like me, really. I'm a sedimentary geo nerd, so my wife says. He said that human activities move 10 times more material than natural activity does. In 2005, he said this. And I'm going to show you a little illustration of this not too far from Brisbane. If you go to Toowoomba, you drive past this. So anyway, let's find out together. Well, here we are, Geo Nerds, over New Farm. Just going to whiz through the city, because we can. Just going to squim past you. Hey lady, put some clothes on. Anyway, here we go. Through the city. We're heading out west again today, going over Auchenflower here. Just heading out towards Kenmore and Pinjarra Hills. Oh, there's the 3D land. Oh, I don't want to go. Let's go anyway. What the hell? So, heading over into... That's a beautiful part of Brisbane. Just look at that. Cross Carralee, cross Corunna Downs, past Chuwa and Ipswich, of course, because where we're going today is Mt Marrow, which is a mountain. Well, not a mountain, they call it a mountain. It's now a hole, a lake, a quarry, whatever you want to call it. Don't worry about the quality of this, we'll do something better for you just after this. It's a good area. There's Ipswich and there's the Gel Ranges. Let's get to it. Okay folks, quick orientation. There's Amberley Air Force Base. There's the Warrego Junction up there. It's pretty straight if you're going to Toowoomba. Here's the beautiful town of Rosewood, worth a visit. Beautiful town of Marburg. And here's our quarry. Right there. Anyway, bit of orientation. Let's get on to something a bit more detailed. So the area between Mt Marrow and the highway is called Haigsley. Wasn't always called Haigsley. It was originally called Kirchheim by the Germans who first settled there. And they named it after this pretty cool little chocolate box town in Germany. But then World War I came along and, they nasty Germans. We had to rename everything, so we renamed it Haigsley after this homicidal aristocratic maniac, General Haig, who fed an entire generation of young men into German machine guns for no reason. Now known as the Butcher of the Somme, by the way. So yeah, we seem to have a propensity for naming places after homicidal maniacs. I'm looking at you, Logan River, Darling Downs, Darling River. Don't start me. Well folks, that's what a hole in the ground looks like from the satellite. It's a big hole. You can't really see it from the front, as you'll see in a minute. Probably going to be called Lake Marrow one day. I shot a bit of live. I was up there the other day. I also did this using Queensland Globe 3D rotate. You can see my mouse is a bit glitchy, so she gets a bit jumpy, but it gives you an idea of where it is. And here's some local audio I shot. A bit of wind noise, I apologise. Well folks, here we are today to the west of Ipswich at a place called Mt Marrow. And I'm giving you a close-up of this. You see the quarry. This is a quarry that quarries basalt. It's called bluestone, but it's basalt. And we'll just zoom back a bit. And what I'll do is I'll draw in the way this mountain looked when I lived out here. And there is a significant amount of this mountain now gone. Favourite stone of Queensland Rail for ballast. I think most of this goes to Queensland Rail for ballast, but they sell it to anyone. and it's an amazing quarry. And of course, what you can't appreciate from here is there is a hole behind that that's several hundred feet deep. So this is turning from Mt Marrow to Lake Marrow very quickly. Well, okay folks, 1944, here's our mountain range, totally unmolested. Not a mark on it. How good's that? Now we move through to 1959. You can see there's a bit of a scrub up the top corner there, up the top, but they're having a bit of a look, I think. But yeah, she's coming. They know it's there. And we're up now in 1968, and you can see there's a step quarry in the top corner there where they're starting to extract basalt. Moving on now, 1968, only 4 years later, 1972, oh, they've found the source. They've really developed that top quarry and the bottom one, and there's 3 quarries there. There's one on the bottom as well. Now we're moving through to 1978, 6 years later. They're right into it. It's really opening out. And of course, since then till now, it's where all that bluestone goes. Anyway, there it is. Big hole, mountain gone. I pass no judgment on this project. We need bluestone. It's a mountain, it's basalt. We've got to have it. Well folks, here we have an interesting shot from the Marburg showgrounds in the 1950s with Mt Marrow in the background. So I think you can see there's been substantial changes to its profile. Amazing old shot this. Anyway, LiDAR, you know, because we can. It doesn't tell us much in this case. The vegetation has been severely stripped from this area. It shows you the mountain profile, which is nice. Geology, of course. Green is the Ipswich coal measures. The brown is where we are, is the basalt. Now that basalt is tertiary, and the green is Jurassic. So we've got 100 million years between those 2 rock types, which is just amazing. Basalt, 60 million years old. Still looks pretty new when you get up there and hit it with a hammer, I tell you. I put a radio repeater up in this once, believe me, it is not in any way rotten. Now I'll put up the magnetics as well, because there is actually a magnetic anomaly on this one. As you can see, this pink and green, that shows you the directions that the magnetism was when that rock was molten. So there have been 2 separate occasions when these rocks have come up, and in the meantime the Earth's magnetic field has moved slightly, which is what this is showing us. I can't tell you which is the oldest, but there are definitely 2 different basaltic intrusions. This thing went off at least twice, which only really the magnetics will show you. Okay folks, we're nearly there. About the 1930s, I would say. Guy on a rail car, and over his shoulder, I suspect, is Mt Marrow. You'll notice I've said Mt Marrow and Mt Marrow, because if you go to Ipswich, you'll hear both. Mt Marrow is correct, but you know, it happens. So yeah, it's an interesting old photo. I thought I'd throw it in. Now, a discussion of this area is not complete without mentioning the Rosewood Scrub. I'm not going to go into detail here because that goes on. Battle on One Tree Hill, Aboriginal people being massacred, Aboriginal people giving the settlers a good kick as well. So there was a lot of trouble out here, but this was the Rosewood Scrub, very heavily, thickly wooded area, practically impenetrable. People needed police escorts through here, and trooper escorts. Nowadays you go through it at 100 kilometres an hour in a few minutes. But this is Rosewood Scrub. I strongly advise you to have a read up about it, because it's fun. Anyway, that's it for this week. And you know what I'm going to say. Keep rocking. T-Rock's out.